So, that cute little clip is part of the second trailer that recently came out for Spy Family. And I will leave a link to the Crunchyroll's release of that in their channel. And if you're interested, yeah, go take a look at it. But I wanted to do a discussion with regards to this trailer and my impression on this, as well as some of the additional information that we received from the second trailer that we did not see in the first one. And so the second trailer is a lot more detailed than the first one. It does go into a little bit more plot with regards to Operation Strix, which of course is the main plot so far of this series. And of course, it's a necessary building block because it is what sets the world for this particular story, as well as this interesting family. And in addition to that, since we see additional scenes, we're starting to get some understanding of how the anime will be representing the manga. And I feel that it's being represented quite well, at least in terms of look and feel. I was a little bit worried about this because the manga is so multifaceted, right? You could go from being extremely wholesome to extremely violent to extremely hilarious all in an instant. And I wasn't sure if the anime would be able to portray all the facets of the manga. Because the manga, of course, can change from frame to frame, but the anime has to do it smoothly from one scene to the next. And yet, from the trailer so far, I see that they are doing that quite well. And it's really nice to see some of the images that were so hilarious in the manga being shown in the trailer of the anime. And so I'm really starting to look forward to this quite a bit. Now, with the new trailer, we're starting to get a little bit more information. Now, we already knew that WIT Studio and CloverWorks were going to be creating the anime, and the director was going to be Katsuhiro Furuhashi. We also knew that the voice acting for Lloyd Folger was going to be done by Tatsuya Endo. Now, what was really nice is in this trailer, we actually got to hear what his voice was. As I mentioned in my previous discussion, as much as I knew that it was Tatsuya Endo, I never heard his voice in any of the animes since I didn't watch any of the animes that he came out in. And what I find out is that I feel this voice is extremely well done for Lloyd. Lloyd is a very calm and collected, as well as how would I say it? A no-fault sort of person. He seems to be extremely well organized and is prepared for anything. And the voice that you hear from Tatsuya Endo seems to fit that sort of role quite well. I wouldn't have minded if it was a deeper voice, but I think that this voice fits the character without any problem. So yeah, I am glad I got to hear what Tatsuya Endo is like, and I'm looking forward to seeing how he portrays Lloyd in the series. Now, what we didn't know about in the first trailer was who was going to be voicing Yor or Anya. And what we find out is that Yor will be voiced by Saori Hayami, and Anya will be voiced by Atsumi Tanezaki. Now, Saori Hayami is an incredible veteran voice actor, and she has come out in so many different animes that even I am familiar with her voice. She has come out as Shinobu Kochu in Demon Slayer or Kimetsu no Yaiba. She is the voice of Yamato in One Piece, which is a character I really like. She also played Shoko Nishimiya in a silent voice, which I didn't realize and was really surprised at because, of course, Shoko Nishimiya is a handicapped character in that particular anime. And I loved that anime as well. But she has also come out as Kamisato Ayaka in Genshin Impact, as well as Himawari Uzumaki in Boruto. So, yeah, she has played some pretty major roles, and I'm looking forward to seeing her in this one. Now, what's interesting is if you hear her voice in the trailer, it sounds very feminine, which is fine. But considering how strong a character she is, I would have expected her to have a stronger voice than the voice you hear in the trailer. However, I do know that this voice actress can bring out a lot stronger voice because she plays Yamato in One Piece, which is an extremely strong character. And so, if she needs to, she can become very strong with her vocal character. And so it'll be interesting to see just how Saori Hayami represents Yor, because of course it'll be her preference of how she voices it that will eventually create this character. And Yor is such an interesting character because when she is, of course, playing wife and mother to the Folger family, she is such a soft, flowery character. And then when she becomes the Thorn Princess, oh my gosh, she is the female equivalent of John Wick. And so, because Saori can play so many different types of characters, such as Shoko Nishimiya, which is an extremely soft character, to Yamato, which is a much harder character, I got a feeling that they did get a proper voice actress for Yor. And of course, that leaves Anya. Anya, yeah, the most important character in this entire series. So Atsumi Tanizaki is also a veteran voice actress, and she's played quite a few roles, maybe not as significant a role as Saori Hayami, but she has played many, many roles. They include characters such as Nikki Hanada in Dr. Stone, and Muren in The Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, or Tensei Shitara Slime Dattaken, as Mujika in The Promised Neverland, and probably one of her biggest roles was as Chise Hattori, the female main character in The Ancient Magus Bride. Unfortunately, I haven't listened to too many of those characters, so I really don't know what Atsumi Tanizaki is like. However, I did see a few clips of hers, and she can play stronger roles such as Nikki in Dr. Stone, as well as a much more softer voiced character such as Muren in The Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. And so she also seems to be a very well-rounded voice actress. And so far from what we see of Spy Family, she seems to be playing a little bit more of a kind of a bratty character voice than that of a really soft young girl. Which is fine, of course, because we know that that is a certain side of Anya. Now, there's so many different sides of Anya that you could take many voice actresses and probably fit it to her. And originally, I thought that she would have a voice similar to Suika in Dr. Stone, which is a much more kind of a youngish, girlish sort of voice than the one you see for Anya, at least in the trailer. However, again, Anya is such a multifaceted character that a bratty voice may be fine because, yeah, as wholesome and as cute as Anya is, we know that meme face Anya takes a significant amount of the entire anime. She spends a lot of time in her goofy role than she does in her cute role. And so, yeah, a bratty voice may be perfect. And as we see from that little clip in the trailer, it does work well when she goes into her meme face. And now let's talk about her meme face. So far, we've seen a very interesting transition. If you see many scenes from the anime, you see that wholesome Anya, right? The Anya that we see in the first few chapters of the manga, which looks extremely wholesome and very, very cute. And of course, as the manga continues to progress, we see much more of her meme face. And what I was wondering is, when you see the anime, at least the first trailer, you see that wholesome Anya. And I wasn't sure how they were going to represent her in her meme face roles, but they seem to be able to transition from her wholesome side to her meme face side pretty well. And we've already seen various faces of Anya, even from this second trailer. And these scenes look exactly like what you see in the manga. And what's interesting is that in my first video, talking about the first trailer, I mentioned that the anime seems to be taking a lot less cartoony representation than the comic, where you saw scenes like this in the comic. But what you see is that even in the anime, it transitions from a very cute Anya to that comic version relatively smoothly. And so it seems like the director is really staying faithful as much as possible to the comic. Of course, the comic goes extremely cartoony, and it doesn't go completely that way, but when you look at Anya herself, she does change to those facial expressions that you see in the comic, which is great because there's so many really extreme facial expressions that Anya makes. And of course, the one that the comic readers are all going to be looking forward to is this particular facial expression and what happens in the story when she makes that face. And now that we see her facial expressions in trailer 2, I can feel very comfortable in saying that we are going to get this scene in the anime. And so this animation is starting to look really good. The final thing that we see in the trailer is that this anime will be released in April. And so we won't have to wait too long to see the first few episodes of the anime. And considering the manga has so many hilarious and adventurous moments, it'll be very interesting to see the first few episodes to see how it compares with the first few chapters of the manga. But in any case, yeah, that is the trailer 2 discussion for Spy Family. And if there's additional trailers that come out, I will make additional videos on them. I hope you join me at that time. Thank you very much for watching. Until the next trailer, happy trailer watching, happy manga reading, and as always, Jaya, nice day, everyone.